Hi everybody, welcome back to another video. This is Sienna, your chef, and you're watching Sienna's Cucina. So, what I'm making today is your Chef Sienna's Rosso Ravioli. And you've probably heard of ravioli or even tried it before, and you've probably had it in a tin with sweet tomato sauce, but I don't speak about that here. I'm going to be showing you how to make your Chef Sienna's Rosso Ravioli from scratch. Ravioli is one of my favourite pasta dishes because you can get it in so many different flavours and so many different fillings, and it's one of my mum's favourite as well. The ingredients you'll need for your Chef Sienna's Rosso Ravioli are beetroot, flour and eggs. You're probably thinking, is that it? No, but I'm going to be showing you how to make the dough first, then the filling and then the sauce, so you can do it step by step and do it with me. The first step is you will need to take your 200 grams of 00 flour. You can use normal flour, but I'm using the Italian 00 flour. So you're going to pour this in a bowl, and then you're going to do a hole in the middle of it like a volcano. Then 2 eggs. Every 100 grams you add 1 egg. So we're going to do egg number 1. And you want to try and crack it in the middle. And then my second egg. And then, because I am adding beetroot, I might need some more flour after because we can't measure how much liquid is in the beetroot. So you just want to add it a bit at a time. So I'm just going to start off with a little bit and then mix that in and see how I go. Get from the outside and cover all the eggs with the flour. So you want to squeeze it all together as you mix it, and your hands will probably be red for a few days, but it's okay, it's worth it. So as you're mixing it, you want to squeeze it together so all the flour and all the colour and all the eggs gets together. And I definitely will need some more flour because most of it stuck to my finger. And also, the reason why it's called your Chef Sienna's Rosso Ravioli is because Rosso in Italian means red, and in the olden days they used to crush beetles to use them as red dye for like makeup or anything that needed to be red, which I find quite disgusting. But I'm using beetroot, which is a natural food and is also part of the superfood category. Now my pasta dough is almost ready. I'm going to try and get all the flour that's on the bottom. And once I've done that, I'm going to move it onto the board. Okay? And now I'm going to work with it in my hands on the board, so it's a bit easier. And it's almost like kneading the bread, like when you make bread. And it's just the same thing, but with pasta. Now it's almost ready. I'm just going to move the flour to the side because you don't want to add too much if it goes really dry. So I'm just going to move that to the side and just knead it for a few more minutes. And you want to put a lot of power into it. So I've added more flour so you get the right consistency of the dough, and you should know because it's quite squishy, but then it's not like really gooey like water. But then you don't want it to be too hard so it's like a rock and you can't really touch it. And also, if you don't like beetroot, you can use broccoli to make it green, or spinach to make it green, and pumpkin to make it yellow, orangey colour, or you could use semolina to give it the yellow colour to it, which is just yellow flour, or, well, I don't know, you can't really do this yet because I'm still trying to figure out how you do a blue one, so I might try it with slush puppies, but I don't think it's going to go very well. Whilst I'm letting my dough rest for 5 to 10 minutes, in that time I'm going to be making my filling. So what you'll need for this is ricotta and Parma ham. And this is, you can buy these things anywhere in any supermarket and in the Salvi's deli. and it's just really easy to make, and it's a lovely filling. And I'm going to start by slicing my Parma ham really fine so you don't get big pieces like that in it. So you might want an adult to help you with this because it can get quite difficult. And also you could use any cheese or any ham for the filling, but you want a cheese that melts because you don't want like a big block of cheese in your food. So I'm going to slice this. It's better to do a bit at a time because you can see how fine it is. So Parma ham is the leg of the pig, and it's just a really soft meat if you have it finely chopped. If not, then it's just really hard meat. So it's really easy to cut as well because it's really soft, and you can find it in any supermarket on the ham aisle. But also, if you don't have ricotta or Parma ham, you can use potatoes if you have any left over. So you boil them, liquidize them, and then that fills in as your ricotta. And you could also just use English thin ham to kind of be your Parma ham. And also, ricotta is a soft Italian cheese that you can find in any supermarkets, and it's really tasty. But you can use cream cheese, or you can use mascarpone. You can use any cheese that melts and that's soft. Okay, now my Parma ham has been chopped really finely. I'm going to bring back my ricotta, and then I'm going to put all that in there with the ricotta. And you want to mix this up really well because this is going to be your filling. Now everything's mixed up together. I used 250 grams of ricotta, and that is with 200 grams of pasta. So obviously if you were to do like 400, 500 grams of pasta, you'd probably need 2 tubs of ricotta, kind of ish. So now that's ready, I'm going to put that to one side because we won't be needing that until the pasta is ready to make the shape. Now the dough is ready, and I've tidied up my space because we need a lot of space for this because it's going to get very long. So I'm going to cut it in half because I'm not making a massive dish. I'm making a dish for probably 1 to 2 people. So you've got it here, and we're going to start putting it through the pasta machine. But first I'm going to talk through the settings of the pasta machine because a lot of you probably have one but you don't know how to use it. So for the first thing, it's going to be on number 1, and you're going to do this 3 times. The second time, it's going to be on number 3, and you're going to do this twice. And for the third time, it's going to be on number 7, and you're going to do this twice again. So let's start. So we're going to put it through 3 times on number 1, and as you bring it through, you want to stretch it a little bit. But now you're going to fold it, so half of it goes into the middle, and then the other half goes onto the bit that you just folded, and you want to squeeze it down. So now you pick a side that you want it to go in, and you pop it, but it's got to be one of the sides that's open. So you're going to put it in again, and again you're going to pull it as it comes out. And remember the side that it comes out because you'll need that in a minute. So we're going to do that again. Now I've put it through 3 times on number 1. I'm going to put it twice on number 3. So put it to number 3, make sure it's on number 3. And we're going to put it in again. And also you want to move quite fast because otherwise if you don't move fast enough, you'll get holes in your pasta. So as you can see, already on number 3 it's beginning to get longer. Also, the way that it comes out, you get the other side and it goes in that way. So you want to do it again, and you want to do it fast again and pull it when it comes out. So I've done that twice now. So I'm going to pop it in. So this is where it gets to get really thin and really long. So be careful and look out for holes. So it's got really long already, and you want to make sure that it doesn't get stuck. Right, I didn't expect it to come out this long, so I'm going to call in a helper that you probably will already know and you've probably seen before. Come on.
Okay.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
Thank you. Ready?
Yeah.
So this is the last time I'm going to do it. And we're going to pull it. It's really long.
There we go.
Thank you.
That's all yours now. Looks
my
like
hair?
strawberry lace. Huh?
Okay, so now our dough is ready. I'm going to put it, I'm just going to lay it down flat and I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm going to cut it about there because obviously you've got the top and bottom of a ravioli. Okay, so now our dough is ready and our filling is ready. It's time to make it. So I'm going to get about half a spoonful of my filling and I'm just going to pop that in the middle, and you probably do need to get your hands a bit dirty here. On each one you want to leave enough space, so like obviously you can cut them. That should be enough space for it, and you don't want to put too much filling in either. You could probably get one more out of it. Now I've put all my filling on one slice, I'm going to get my other half of it and position it quite equally on the side. You might need to stretch it out a bit. Make sure you don't stretch it too much that it rips it. So, they're around the same thickness because they've been in the machine together. Okay, so I'm just going to press down the sides, but not too much because you need to let all the air out of it. So you do that by getting your 2 fingers around the edge of the filling and just squeezing it down both sides, so then you get all the air out, so it's not like going to be really poofy. So we're going to do that again on all of them, just to get as much air out as you can. But obviously don't squeeze the filling out. So I'm just going to chop this side off and this side off where I've got the dough that's not on the board, and I will probably show you how to do something with this. So I'm going to cut the edge of this first to make it nice and straight. Would help if I can do a straight line. So you'll probably need to do this a bit at a time. Just going to do this side now. There we go. And also you can buy like online the ravioli cutters, so you get the rigid edges that are on the ravioli. But if you don't know, you don't need to worry because you can just use a knife. Okay, so just make sure them edges are straight. And we're going to do the exact same on the other side as we did on this side. And also you don't want to cut too much off either, that you've barely got any pasta and just the filling, because that's why it's a pasta, because it's got pasta on the edges. So we're now going to cut it. I'm going to put a bit of flour on the back of my board, just so I can lay them down and they won't get stuck to it. So I'm going to do the exact same on this side. And you just squeeze down the edges and you get a really nice pattern on them. And this also makes it a bit more secure because with your fingers you've not got that much power, but with a fork you get a little bit more power to it. Okay, so there it is with the pattern, and then I'm just going to do the last ones and then we can start making the sauce. Also, if you're interested, the first time I made pasta was with my nonna, and I was probably about 3. I probably couldn't even walk, but I could manage to make pasta. And it's kind of become now like, it's just like writing, because I've done it so many times and it's just so natural now to me. Like, I could just be given flour and water and I'd just make pasta. Okay, so now I've made my ravioli shapes, as you can see. They are an amazing colour and I'm sure they taste amazing when they're cooked, but I'm just going to let them set for, I don't know, like 2 minutes so they get a little bit more hard. And then in that time I'm going to be making my butter and basil sauce, and I might add a little bit of asparagus in there, I might not, depending on how I feel. Now my water is boiling. I'm going to leave that a few more minutes because the pasta only takes about 2 or 3 minutes to cook and the sauce takes longer. So We're going to start by getting our butter. I'm just going to pop that on there. Now I've put my pan on, it's on full heat. I'm now going to add 1/4 of salted butter. And you've probably realised that I've not put any salt in this dish so far. And that's because obviously you've got the ricotta and the parmesan, that's very salty. And then you've got salted butter, which is very salty. So before I finish, I'm going to taste the sauce and see if it needs any more salt in it. So I'm going to let this melt. So I'm going to add my basil in now. And remember, you don't want it too hot because you don't want to burn the butter. So I'm going to turn it down to a medium heat. I should probably get a spoon. So my butter's almost melted. And I can already smell the basil in it and it smells amazing. So I'm going to put my ravioli in there. And be careful with this because obviously it's boiling water. Okay, gonna give that a stir. And then the cooking time for your pasta, you know it's ready when it starts to float to the top and it only takes 2-3 minutes, 5 at the most. So I'm gonna give the pasta a quick stir and it smells and looks amazing. I've got a spoon now so I can try the sauce, but before I try it, now my pasta's ready, I'm going to get some water from the pasta, and this is like all the starch and you get all the flavour of the pasta in the water. So I'm just going to get this one last mix. Pasta's ready now because it's all floated to the top, and I'm just going to give the sauce a quick try, but obviously it's really hot so be careful. I'm going to put a touch of salt in that, so I'm going to put a bit of salt in there, a bit of pepper. Okay, so my sauce is ready now, and I'm going to get my pasta out. So I'm not going to drain it out, I'm just going to get it with a spatula. Probably better to use a spoon with holes, but I don't have one. So again, be careful because the sauce and the water is very hot. None of the pasta's broken, so for the last minute or two, I'm just going to mix this in. And then, whilst that's just like sitting there, I'm going to add some parmesan. There we go. Give it one last stir. And then it's ready. Okay, so we got number 1. There we go. Going to put some basil on, so you're going to put that on top. I'm going to put a bit more parmesan on. And there you have your Chef Sienna's Rosso Ravioli. Enjoy!